Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of How Did This Get Booked? I, of course, am your host, Jake Manning, and I'm a veteran of the professional wrestling business for over a decade, and I've held every single job except selling popcorn. I'm joined, as always, my good friend, my podcast buddy, and I'm joined alone by him. He's locked in the furnace, otherwise known as the Manning Cave. I'm joined, as always, by Zane Riley. Zane, how are you doing?
Fabuloso.
Just to let everybody know, maybe a little inside baseball.
No?
We are recording this episode way ahead.
Oh, man. Like a month ahead of time.
Oh, a month ahead of time, because we are getting ahead because September was a very busy month for me. October is going to be a little bit light, so I was just trying to get ahead, so I have a little bit of a respite here in October, because November is going to be very crazy for both of you.
Fucking insane. So we're going to have to get even more ahead.
Yes, we have to get even more ahead because we have 2 FSCW appearances, GalaxyCon appearances, WrestleCade.
Caleb and I will be going to Barbados to wrestle.
Going to Barbados?
Yes.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's real.
That's a real thing. That's a real thing.
Hopefully by the point of this being released, they have announced that we are actually on it.
Or hopefully by this time they have announced that it's canceled.
I thought that was going to happen. I'll tell you about that story in a little while. I thought that was going to be a thing.
But yeah, we got that coming up also too. Like I got a Revolver Weekend, which actually works out great because it's a Dayton, Ohio one, and I'm actually going to have a wrestling show in West Virginia on the way back. So I might make a big whole tour in November. Maybe even to like circle off of a GalaxyCon, depends on, because it's kind of sandwiched in there as well. So we'll see how that all goes. But basically what I'm saying is we're getting ahead right now because November is going to be fucking crazy. But I'm just going to go ahead. The reviews on this might have already changed by the last episode. But I do want to give a shout out to the Michelle sisters or the McL sisters, or maybe they were trying to type in the Michael sisters.
Maybe.
I don't know.
What? You know your name?
Or the Michaels Isters?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Michael's Isters.
Michael's Isters.
Yeah, like Michael owns some Isters.
Yes, exactly. You were sitting on top of the pole at the time this recording has happened. You might have been dethroned at the last episode that we did.
Which, if you heard the Glow episode, we recorded that 2 days before it released. We are now doing this that is from a month away.
Oh, yeah.
An hour after that.
An hour after that. So it's very, very complex. And Gabriel Kidd, you're still on top of Stitcher. Maybe even still.
One of us might be dead. This could be some real cryptic shit you're hearing right now, guys.
But if you left a review between Glow and when the next episode comes up, which will have all different names possibly.
So all the cool things we said about Glow and all the progress we made, we really fucked it up the next time.
Oh, yes, absolutely. We most certainly did that.
Complicated button or bell went off all the time.
The complicated bell. Maybe the new segment on the show.
Yeah, complicated bell.
So, but yeah, part of the reason the names, you all left reviews on Apple Podcasts or Stitcher, and all you got to do is just leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Stitcher, and slide into my DMs, give me your shirt size, your mailing address, and I will mail you out a free How Did This Get Booked t-shirt. I just went through my merch area in my office because we're redoing our floors, and turns out I have plenty of transfers for How Did This Get Booked, so I will not be stopping this free t-shirt giveaway anytime soon. Like I said, all you can do is just leave a review, get in my DMs, make sure you give me your actual name, not Michael's Isters. I can't really put that on a package, and just give me your mailing address and your shirt size, and I will get you a free How Did This Get Booked t-shirt. So, it'd be kind of weird for us to talk about what's going on in our life right now, and really, a month in advance is when this comes out. So you want to just jump right in?
Yeah, might as well.
Let's just jump right in. I don't think we got anything overarching that we want to get to. But I'm not exactly sure we're going to have some issues on pronunciation. So let's just go ahead and apologize.
Oh, and we're not going to freestyle us a sponsor. I feel it'd be complicated. It'd be problematic, I believe.
This whole episode, let's just start with an apology.
Yeah.
Let's start with an apology. There's going to be some names we're going to get wrong.
Yeah.
We are sorry.
There are going to be some times where certain Spanish words are going to be used to discuss a certain topics that are not translated very well.
Yes. We basically mansplained the season 3 of Glow We did a very problematic episode, and we had Carlos Valencia jump on. And then we're not doing this, and we're going to mispronunciate a whole bunch of Spanish words.
Shit's going to be bad. Just know, we love everybody.
We're trying our best.
Viva la Mexico.
We are trying our best to be as progressive as possible, but we are dumb, white, straight men, and we apologize.
We understand. You guys don't know how hard it is. Don't know how hard it is to be cisgender white male, guys. All right,
and try and be on the right side.
And trying to pull it together for some of us.
I'm trying to do a bit on stage, and I think it's just going to make people mad. But we might as well discuss it here in the podcast.
Yeah, why not? Fuck it. Complicated Bell's already going off.
Yeah, the Complicated Bell's going to go off here in a little bit.
Let me tell you about how I feel about the moon landing, which is really the only one I have.
This has turned into the Boogie Monster.
Yeah.
We have a topic in front of us. Yeah. We have done research. We have watched hours of content, and we haven't even got into what the topic of discussion is. You just got me fucking going, I fucking hate politics. So I'm Kyle. You're Dave.
And I'm going to tell you about how to make this really nice rosemary focaccia bread that came up with.
Go ahead. Give the fucking recipe.
Go ahead, get it there.
Give the fucking recipe.
It's all about the instant yeast, guys.
I'm going to do dishes like Kyle did in my favorite episode one time, where Kyle's like, nope, not talking about it. Just start doing dishes.
Rock on.
This is fucking turned into an episode of the Boogie Monster.
Yeah, so if we've ripped off someone's podcast, we're coming for yours now, Kyle. Paul's already been taken out. You're next. All right. Can we start this goddamn podcast?
All right, let's get into the topic of discussion.
There's only 5 episodes. They're half an hour long.
Now that
we've ruined our fan base. Our algorithms are fucked.
Oh, our algorithms are way fucked. So I like how we went on that whole fucking tangent just to apologize that we might say.
Then we're gonna say some names wrong.
We're gonna say some names wrong.
We said a whole bunch of shit wrong. And I'm not talking about how we pronounced them.
Oh
no, we pronounce things correctly.
We pronounce them correctly.
Man,
I might mark down a time code.
Okay.
So
cool.
Yeah, we may have taken all that out.
You can get on Jake's Patreon and hear the unedited version.
On Patreon. I'll definitely put that on Patreon.
Yeah.
So there may be a little bit of a skip in there. So
if you're like, I have no clue what they're talking about. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, looking back on it now, we're just guessing. I was wrong.
Yeah,
I was wrong.
We can vote.
But no, what I'm not wrong about is today's topic, which is Nuestra.
Yeah.
Lucha Libre.
Yes. Nuestra Lucha Libre.
This is a kind of a deep dive into Lucha Libre culture.
Yeah. Very deep.
Very deep, and I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of my friends, trading friends...
A lot of my friends are Mexican, so it's okay.
No, a lot of my friends are Lucha Libre fans.
Yeah.
A lot of
Rob Viper.
Oh, Rob Viper, even my boss, Michael Bakikio, Jeff Rudd, who also works at High Spots. They're all big Lucha Libre fans,
mm-hmm.
and they all have 3 completely different fucking opinions on everything.
Oh, very good.
Oh, they are all over the spectrum. But of course, they've had to digest it differently and see different things and glean different things from a culture. They've gleaned 3 different things where I think this is much more streamlined. So someone like me can kind of understand, and they even kind of understand where they're coming, how they could see it, how they see it. So this is an interesting perspective and just a deep dive into Lucha Libre culture. But what they all can agree upon is that being unmasked is a
big fucking deal.
Big fucking deal. But then in episode 1, we just have some dude driving around taking his mask off whenever the fuck.
Just, YOLOing it. Yep. Being an Uber driver.
But his career is over after losing to Blue Demon, though.
Yeah.
And they do this a lot in each one of the episodes. They start off with something, discuss something, and then they move on and they never discuss it.
Yeah.
The episode becomes kind of about something else.
Mm-hmm.
We get into a discussion about Kairos, I believe. He's protecting the business.
Yeah.
He's
about it.
Yeah, he's about it. He's new, though, so he knows that there's that money when he takes the mask off. And
so he's just walking around in a ski mask. as his day mask.
As his day mask, which, kind of, it was a ski mask with Mil Mascaras in Japan.
Yeah.
When he would eat spaghetti.
Yeah.
He'd have that mouth out. So, and then we also have an Exotico in De Macedado.
Sure.
See,
if you question it, then we just say it confidently.
I'm pretty sure that I was wrong on the first one, and I said it with confidence, and you're like, you're right.
Fucking rocket.
Right. This one, I said without confidence, and you're like, nah.
Quit being a puss.
Quit being a puss here. But it's basically to talk about how you can break into Lucha Libre, talk about training for 2 to 3 years.
Which is basically what I did. Then we have like a lot of kids in the school. Like we have one in particular, and she's just like, every time she bitches about something, it's like, well, I wrestled 6 months before I had my first match. And I want to be like, bitch, wrestled for 3 years before I had my first match. Shut the fuck up. You're doing pretty good pace.
Mm-hmm. But now it almost seems like at some schools they put them out there after 3 months.
Yeah.
And then they let you figure it out there. But that's kind of like what Tony Salazar was discussing, who runs the
Wrestling
Council school, was talking about how like where you learn is in the ring in front of a crowd, which is true. Yeah. So like you can only do so much as far as drills and training and running things over and over and over again. That's where a lot of schools, they want to put you out there after a couple of months, because where the real training begins is when you start wrestling.
Trial by fire, guys.
But then a lot of like young wrestlers don't realize like oh, I still gotta. Like, this is the training. Yeah. They're like, no, I'm a wrestler now. Yeah. I should get merch.
Yeah.
Which, I made that fucking mistake. I had merch after fucking 8 or 9 months.
Rock on.
Real fucking shitbag.
Taking all the money.
Yeah, and thought I was fucking big league and, like, asked for $20 extra, even though I was only getting 40. I asked for an extra 20 because I was a champion. Because
of course.
I was a champion, and
6 months in.
The championship belt was basically a WCW replica belt.
Yeah, with a little bit of nylon, a little vinyl sticker on it.
A little vinyl sticker on it.
There you go.
So I thought it was a big fucking deal.
You were hot shit.
Oh, I thought it was hot shit for sure. But yeah, and like that's what I think nobody ever says to anybody. But like in Mexico, especially the way a lot of the Lucha Libre guys are, like how durable they have to be.
Oh man.
Like you have to know enough to protect yourself, how to move your body. There's a lot more danger and risk, I would say, to Lucha Libre than there is American style wrestling. American style wrestling, you kind of bullshit your way through. Where Lucha Libre, you got to be at the right place at the right fucking time, and you got to practice that. So it's almost like fucking muscle memory.
Yeah,
like it's
the more fluid style, more.
And that's why I dig the fact that you have to be licensed, which they go over that process, and just going over that and. Yeah, I think I think it's extremely important. I mean, look at all the times like Ray Phoenix has almost fucking died. I think if he didn't have the training that he got, I mean,
he'd already done it.
If he was just an American dude that could do some flips, he'd be fucking dead.
Yeah.
But because he was trained and he's built up himself in a proper way, that's why he can bounce back like he can and do the things that he can do, because he's probably, I would say, top 5, top 3 as far as body control goes.
Yeah.
So in the world. They also talk about like technicos and rudos, but also, and that's really no different than any other conversation I've heard, except for the idea of there being a Christian aspect to the technicos.
Yeah, that I didn't know anything about that.
Didn't know anything about that, but that is true because of
Santo.
Yeah, Santo and predominantly Christian. The Mexican culture is. Which is interesting when they start chanting things in the crowd later on.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. But that's kind of what they go over. They talk about the debut in the Coliseum and how big of a deal it is, and just lays the groundwork. And that's basically what episode 1 is. When we get to episode 2.
This is probably my second favorite or favorite episode.
Okay. And this is mostly what we're talking about, like the mask versus mask, hair versus hair.
Ultimo Guerrero and...
Which, fucking Ultimo Guerrero. I've always been a big fan of Ultimo Guerrero, and lost track of like, because I used to be able to watch Lucha Libre on television here, part of my satellite package. Part of DirecTV had a station where I could watch it. Ultimo Guerrero. It might have because it was a AAA, and I think he was wrestling in AAA at the time. Okay. I don't know who he was. I forget who he was tagging with, but like Ultimo Guerrero, or maybe it was CML, or I just remember Ultimo Guerrero being a fucking dude, man. Yeah, a fucking dude. And then like
Tatanka jacked.
Oh, but that's the thing too. I never pictured him to look like that.
Yeah.
Like as soon as he took off the mask, immediately like, oh, this is an old dude.
Yeah.
Where I never felt that way about him before that. I'm like, man, fuck Ultimo Guerrero, he's the fucking man, you know?
Whoa!
It's like Randy Orton all of a sudden one day waking up and he's like fucking Ric Flair. And just like an old looking dude. You know, I was like, what the fuck, man?
I thought you were going to be 23 forever.
Yeah, I thought you'd be a 23-year-old fucking man. And all of a sudden now you're just old as shit.
Yeah.
That's kind
of... Now he's like Bob.
But I'll tell you what, Ultimo still fucking can go. Yeah. Northeast Wrestling booked him, and they brought him to Bethany, Connecticut, which the building can, at best, hold 200 some odd people, maybe 300 at most if you cram enough people in there. He was booked, and he wrestled Flip Gordon.
What the fuck?
It was an awesome fucking match. I mean, it was fucking out there. Like anytime, like wrestling. Like a real traditional lucha libre guy, like the psychology is completely fucking different.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I wrestled Chavo Guerrero, he kept calling this match and saying we were going to do stuff at this time, and none of that shit made any fucking sense. None of it. It was fucking clueless to me. And I had this whole match with Chavo Guerrero Sr., and none of it made sense, and I just kind of just fucking kept up. But he called it perfectly. Like when he would do stuff in the ring, he'd be like, "Hey, take a front roll, back roll, front foot bump, flat back bump." Like he would do all the fancy shit, but just tell me how to take it in the fucking ring. And luckily, it was during a time I was as sharp as I'll ever be.
Yeah,
and I kept up with it, and it was good. But then none of it made any goddamn sense until it was driving home from Dallas. And like in the middle of the night, like just in a fucking fever dream, driving back in the middle of the night, I go, "Oh, it does make sense like this." And it's just one of the, but like just laying it out, it's not your traditional thing.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of what Ultimo Guerrero and the Flip Gordon match
That's
was.
awesome.
Also, too, I think the Ultimo Guerrero Atlantis match, I think. That's the match that everybody was talking about where everybody thought for sure this is where Atlantis was going to lose his mask.
Yeah.
But they're like, nah, that fucking motherfucker politicked his way out of that.
Did.
And
Same way he politicked his way into the match altogether. It's the way to hear the setup of it, or to read the setup of it.
Yeah, and I was like, when I started seeing that, I'm like, oh, this is for sure the match people were talking about, how Atlantis was supposed to drop the mask and then changed it. And I think this was a situation where they thought, okay, Atlantis is going to lose the mask. Atlantis going to, and then all of a sudden they get right to it. They're like, oh fuck, he's not going to. And then unfortunately, Ultimo Guerrero is going to take the mask off, and now everybody has to see him as an old fucking man.
Yeah, piece of shit.
For us, but I'll tell you what though, seeing him in the weight room inspired me. I'm like, I'm gonna start lifting heavy because fucking old ass Ultimo Guerrero is lifting heavy. I'm gonna do the same.
I'm gonna get in there.
Fucking had a good old fucking workout on Monday because of this Lucha Libre series. I did find it interesting when Atlantis was talking, and he referred to Lucha Libre as high performance sport, which everybody's we're a few months removed from the big dialogue about pro wrestling,
performance art or sport,
and performance art, but high performance sport.
A little bit A, a little bit of B.
Well, I think maybe we found our middle ground.
There's our answer.
There's our fucking answer.
Atlantis brought it to you.
Fucking egomaniac Atlantis brought it to us.
There it is.
But they discuss the mask versus mask, and then they get into the hair versus hair. And this is we're getting introduced to Negro Casas. No Negro Casas. He's the fucking man, and very much fucking the egomaniac I thought he was.
Yes.
Very much like very, very Ricky Morton-ish of Mexico. Like kind of like was a good-looking guy early in his career, still fucking doing it, still wants to go, mixing it up with the young kids now. I don't know if Negro Casas is going to get booked by New Japan anytime soon or what. But then they talk about his feud with Akira Mura?
The samurai?
The guy referred to as the Chin.
The Chin, yeah.
Which is...
I like this part better than I like the fucking Ultimo Guerrero part.
No?
I just like this is a whole lot more like those guys were still at it. These two guys were like, I mean, we can still go, but I'm pretty much not.
No, fucking Guerrero can fucking go.
Yeah.
But Atlantis, he should have lost his mask.
Yeah, but then like with these two here, like Casas and the Chin are just like, yeah, man, we had this real good match then, and we're gonna do it again someday. But like, we're pretty happy and content with he's training the future, and then the Chin's just shopping at this Chinese store, this Japanese store that they found in Mexico.
Which the Chin, I can't believe we're calling him this. This has got to be a fucking racist.
Yeah,
we've already apologized for this, and then I went on a rant that got
they called it. Okay,
they
you might be watching this episode, and you might be seeing it 45 minutes long or 25 minutes long.
Yeah. The Chin was walking around in a Green Bay Packers Lucha Libre shirt.
Yeah.
And I find that this is why I find that's odd is Funaki is also a big Green Bay Packers fan. So I don't know what it is with Japanese guys
the Green Bay Packers
and the Green Bay Packers. Like I don't fucking get that at all. I don't know why like that's your team because like Funaki lives in Texas and he's like, yeah, I like the Green Bay Packers. And here's the Chin who lives in Mexico and goes, yeah, Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, go Packs. Go back, go.
And neither one of you are going to pick the Dallas Cowboys, the most recognizable sports brand in the world. Like, I don't get it. But I do like the end of this episode, like the shot with Ultimo's car in the background, the sunset.
Oh yeah,
so like that's a fucking beautiful.
And they show his little like his school. Looks real nice.
That looks awesome. That's the fucking dream. Yeah. Man. It's fucking great. But then episode 3.
We're almost done.
It starts with this thing with like mini wrestlers, and then
just that's it. That's like a fucking sentence about them.
Like I thought that was gonna be like a big part of it. But
yeah,
like,
they show that chicken, and they show a guy smaller than the chicken.
Yeah, and
they do one kick out spot, and that shit's done.
That's it.
No more minis.
No more.
Mini free.
And minis are like a big part of fucking Lucha Libre.
Yeah.
Like minis are one of my favorites. Like I will, and it's also funny too. He was talking about, what was he talking about? He was talking about something about like minis and like the respect of them, or he was getting respect out of wrestling.
Yeah.
But then I think about all the fucking times where like large size wrestlers have abused mini
fucking old brother that always gets drop kicked off the apron dressed in a little gorilla monkey.
Canamino, I believe. Canamino. He takes the kick and he did the like shooting star. I can't remember who it was that was telling me. It might have been Mark Jendrak was there for that, and he was in the locker room when that happened, and he said he's never seen a human being more fucking pissed off. Just took the fucking mask off and was ready to fight everybody.
You say he's a little mad?
And then
big mad.
One of the reasons why I've always loved Amy Bisto Negro was there was a match on TV for AAA where it might have been I want to say Mascarita Sagrada, or it might have been Mini Tenibles, went for like a tope, and Amy Bisto Negro was on the ground, and here's this mini, we'll just say random mini wrestler, just because the end of it doesn't put weight on it.
Yeah.
Or maybe look up and let you know that he didn't die.
Yeah.
But Amy Bisto Negro is on the floor, and this mini goes for like a tope. And so he's diving straight through the air, and Amy Bisto Negro, without missing a fucking beat, as this mini is flying at him, straight at him, Amy Bisto Negro just gets his hands underneath of him and then continues on the momentum. Like, not even like puts him up for a gorilla press.
Nope.
Like, not like grabs him, gorilla press, throw. No, he just gets underneath him enough.
Guides him.
That he pushes his momentum to go even faster in midair, and she basically shot puts him into the front row.
Yes.
Like,
let those guys catch him.
Not even like safely slowed him down and then tossed him in or grabbed him and then gorilla pressed him. Just like swatted him through.
Gave him an aerial lucha pass.
Yes, an aerial mi pasa. Like, and just it was the smoothest fucking fuck you of a human being I've ever seen before in my entire life. Like, just like that doesn't get enough play. That the Kenemio thing, like, yeah, like
it's had its run.
It's had its run. But look, fucking Amy Bisto Negro just tossing a fucking mini performer into the crowd. Like, that should have been discussed in this Lucha Libre thing. The abuse that these minis in Mexico have to fucking go through, and then getting like chosen to train and become, like, you know, because it is a big thing. Like,
and he was trained by Ultimo Guerrero.
Yeah, and it is a big thing to have your son become a wrestler, like, you know, El Julio Del Santo. Like, it, you know, for me to allow you to be the son of the Saint, or Blue Demon Jr. to be bestowed upon you is a big order, and sometimes they start off with a different character, and then when they're good enough, they can hold up the mantle of Blue Demon. Much in the same sense, it's got to be for mini performers if you're going to be like Mini Tenibles, Mini. Masquerita Sagrado, who actually turned out to be more famous than who he was in Mini 2. Octagoncito. Yeah. You know, to be Mini Octagon, it's like a big fucking honor. You think Octagon's going to check off on that? Like, no, this fucking Octagoncito's got to go through some fucking shit. Like,
that's not day one shit. You don't get that day one mask.
Like, that should be what it is. But
you were a chicken for a while.
Yeah, you were a chicken.
You're half alligator, half monkey thing.
You were creepy as fuck. That was your little fucking gimmick.
Yeah.
Creepy as fuck.
Weirdo.
Weird. But this actually dovetailed into something else.
Yeah.
This dovetailed into...
This 3 minutes of an open goes completely 180.
Yeah. We went to female wrestlers in Mexico, which is fine. Yeah. And it should have its own episode.
And, you know, honestly, like, back in the day, they were basically considered the same fucking gimmick match. It was always women and minis and tag matches.
Yeah. You know, and then Exoticos were kind of, but we just glaze over minis, and we get right into the women, where I would like just jump right into the women, and let's also do an episode on minis. Yeah, because
it's the only place we can get them in.
Yep. But they
don't need much room.
They sit down with. Yep. You just did that.
Hey, it's still not the most fucked up thing that's been said on this podcast, Bubba.
Oh, that's not going to happen. I'm definitely going to cut out that part. Yeah. I'm definitely.
That's the one. Yeah. That's what did it. That's that time cue.
Yeah, I took that time cue earlier.
Zane made a little person joke?
No, I'm going to keep the little person joke in. I'm talking about the monologue that I put in the beginning of the podcast. I'm definitely taking that out.
Okay.
You got to see a side of myself.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating.
Yeah, we're weird.
I got real fucking weird.
It's okay. Only you, me, and Dan will know.
Oh, no. Don's not even going to hear it. I'm going to basically...
You make that part out there where I got his name wrong, too, then.
No.
I think I get it wrong every time.
It's okay.
He doesn't listen.
No, he doesn't. He just checks for the spikes.
Yeah. How's our spikes?
The spikes are looking good, right,
Good.
Don?
Let's maybe take that out so we keep those spikes right.
Keep those spikes just right. A person who kept the spikes right was Irma Gonzalez. Which, this is fascinating to me, how fucking rough it would have been to be a female wrestler in fucking Mexico.
Yeah.
During the era in which she was a female wrestler. Like, that shit was tough in the fucking
Mexican
States.
Mexican over here.
Yeah. Like, doing that shit in the fucking States was fucking difficult. But doing it in fucking Mexico? Holy fucking shit. Like, how the fuck did you make that shit happen? Yeah. And then you had, like, you know, you also had to, like, sing, and then also you kind of, like had to be a sexy, but not that sexy.
Had to be modest, though.
Like, Irma, she seems like a woman who, when talking to you, she grabs your wrist and doesn't let go and keeps talking to you.
And that's to make sure you don't go away.
Yeah, like, she seems like that type of person. Yeah. Like, I'm surprised that didn't happen.
But gives you the squeeze so you know, don't try to go away.
Yeah, like, I will.
You're not going.
You're not going. I'm gonna put my hand here, and and she'll say honey and sweetie and say very nice things. But the second that you pull away,
where are you going?
Where are you going?
No,
I'm not done. I'm not done talking.
I'm still here.
And you don't know if that's because she's super lonely or she's just making a point, and almost like holding belt loops in prison. Like, you don't know what she's trying to display here. Like, what part of...
But either way, she's in charge.
Yeah, and she's very much in charge. She's making that very clear. So, also, too, she's, like, walking up a spiral staircase.
Yeah, that looked real rough.
Like, My grandmother, towards the end, did not leave her house. Because the poor woman lived in a house that had 8 steps down on both sides. There was never like a ground level house. So she was just always afraid she was going to fall down and something bad was going to happen. Surprise.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. She fell down and then she died. So Grandma Fearbach was fucking right.
That's right.
She was fucking right.
She went out correct.
She was fucking correct, but she did it on just on a flat surface on a ground level. But she was a foreseer. She knew what her fate was going to be, and she avoided it as long as she did. And
irony be damned. From
what I hear, if she wouldn't have fallen down, she could have lived another 8 years.
Wow.
So,
Grandma would have had to have gone a long time to get that Fuck Santa Slay episode in.
Yeah, we would have. Old Grandma Fearbach. She knew how to grab a hold of life's wrist and not let go.
Till that one time.
But yeah, very fascinating woman.
Yeah.
Would love to have known more about Irma. But everything we saw of her was fantastic.
It talks about how her shitty marriage, and then she just wrote an album about the guy.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Gangster.
Yeah,
fucking gangster. Definitely OG. Also, too, OG as far as like being sexy in lucha. Estrela. I used to be able to say her name. Because once I went back and saw, I'm like, oh, I fucking know this name. Estrela.
Okay.
Estrelita. I used to know. I fucked up.
You guys get it. Yeah, come on.
She was talking about how she was one of the first females to
dress a little sexier.
And also she had a background of being in a band. And basically everybody in the band were.
To be in the band, you had to be a wrestler.
So she's like, fuck.
Now I've got to go live and be a wrestler.
Now I've got to be a wrestler. But she went from a band to wrestler to doctor.
Yeah,
super fucking rad.
And then she put on the outfit that was too sexy, quote unquote. It was like a bathing suit with out straps.
But it
was enough then.
It was enough to incite a riot.
Yeah,
and just
good for her being a doctor.
Yeah, good for her. Definitely. And I've seen her name multiple times before, even though I've butchered it.
Yeah.
We've done a pretty good job with names, even though we spent a long period of time apologizing for the beginning and then went off on a tangent that you'll never hear. You'll never hear.
You're like, man, what was that tangent? You don't want to know.
You don't want to know. I shared a piece of my soul on here. And
it turns out we didn't like the reflection when we put the mirror to it.
Did not. I looked into the abyss and I saw myself staring back and then I immediately burnt it. Speaking of things that are hot.
What? That was awful. Go ahead and write that time cue down.
Fuck, I was trying to
Speaking of other women that...
Speaking of things that are orange.
Speaking of other women that took Lucha Libre and also followed their dreams in and outside of the ring.
Zane Lee, I believe is her name. Zane Lee. Yeah, I think she was... she's the daughter of a wrestler, and she said the wrestler's name, and I didn't fucking write it down.
Yeah.
I'm fucking awful, but she's a psychologist.
Yeah.
Fucking, that's rad.
Yeah, she's a younger Lucha Libre wrestler.
Fitness trainer, daughter of a wrestler, lives with her father, has got all...
And they do this real cool thing where she walks into his house, and it's just these creepishly tall walls, and it's just from floor to ceiling just accolades of pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
Like this shrinage type deal, and then she gets to the end of it and this is my corner, and here's some fitness things I want, but also here's this stuffed person that was made of me, and then this is my father had his time and now he's got a spot for me.
And that's what's so weird. Cool. It was weirdly fucking high.
Yeah.
Almost
but everything was so crowded, it was not wide.
Yeah.
It was just very tall.
It was almost like that man was like, oh, I need as much wall space as possible.
Yeah.
Oh, you have the tallest walls in the world, but the narrowest hallway?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want. I'm more concerned with the height of these walls because I want to fill up the surface area. Which, considering how I'm running out of wall space, get it, understand, fully.
So if we can get these ceilings raised.
I might comically raise these fucking ceilings, much like that apartment was.
Yeah.
I got some art down there that I haven't even put up. I don't know where I'm going to fucking put it. So, yeah, I'm going to have to redo my walls. Need more wall space. I mean, breaking up with one of my last girlfriends was great because it gave me all this fucking wall space.
And it turns out, not enough.
Not enough.
I had to break up with at least 3 more girls to get enough wall space for this place.
I'm almost there. I'm 2/3 of the way there, my friend. You get as much wall space as I need. Much wall space as I need.
Speaking of wall space,
speaking of knocking down walls, let's talk.
Better.
That's better. That's better. Negro Costa's
daughter.
Is it daughter? I thought it was his girlfriend.
No, it was his daughter.
Dallas?
Yeah, Dallas.
I
think it was his daughter.
I think they were an item.
Oh.
I think he said wife.
Oh.
I think she said that she was married.
Okay.
And she was dealing with that. Like, I had to prove that I'm not just...
fucking boss.
Yeah. I think it was one of those things in that dynamic, which
okay.
would have liked to explore that some more. But then, the aspect of, like, being larger and the idea of, I'm not as dainty and she had muscles and she was obviously physically imposing and how that redefines, being sexy and strong and athletic. And then also she has to deal with the things of her having a relationship with Negro Costa and all the things and the struggles that she's going through. So that was an interesting story to tell. Like, yeah, all of these women have their own little wonderful story to tell. And you
triumphant stories too.
Would have loved to hear more from all of them stories. Take the mini out and then do episode 4 on it.
Yeah, we could have had 6 episodes here. Got a little mini episode in.
I'm taking that one out too. I'm taking that one out since I'm already taking stuff out. I'm taking that out.
Everything's out.
Let me make a time code about that. Actually, episode 4 was my favorite.
This was the other one that I was like, I don't know if this is my favorite or if that one was. But this one's fucking awesome. Because
this is all about the arenas.
Yeah.
Now, when they get to talking about, like, the
fans,
clubs. I don't give a fuck about the fans. I would love to hear stories about the buildings.
Yeah.
Because I'm very much a building nerd, stadium. Like, you tell me stories about, like, one of my favorite, like, TV documentary pieces that I saw on the MLB Network was the one about the Astrodome.
Yeah.
Like, that was fucking fascinating. There was this book that I ran into on a recent visit to Asheville, and I almost bought it. And it was about baseball stadiums that are closed down. And they had, like, different stories behind all of them, and they had ones all the way back in, like, the 1900s.
Oh, shit.
And, like, talked about, like, the renovation here, and then they talked about, like, this came discontinued in the 40s because they pulled the steel out of it for World War II. And just these fascinating, unique stories about all these baseball parks. And, like, I would have bought it, but it's only about baseball. Even though some of the baseball stadiums were also football arenas and such, so that was kind of a little bit that mix. But I very much, like, they also had they had the baseball park that we used to have here in South Carolina.
Yeah,
that was
the old Knight Stadium.
Yeah, that was in the in the book. They had minor league parks. They had just any ballpark that had been closed in the last 120 years.
Wow.
They had in this book. It was fucking awesome.
Do you remember the name of this book?
I don't fucking. It was in this fucking gift shop in Asheville next to this amazing breakfast place.
All right, that narrows it down.
Oh, it's not far from Fleetwood's in Asheville. It's right on that same road.
Okay.
Not far from a vinyl record store. That narrows it down.
A little bit more. Well, at least you have a name of a place.
I have
a name of something.
A name of
and not just a record store in Asheville. A record store in a hippie town.
Yeah.
The fuck?
A vinyl record store.
Oh, fuck yourself.
But yeah, if it had, like, football stadiums and basketball arenas, like if it had all arenas, I would have bought the book right away because I'm a fucking building nerd. And, like, if you had something where, like perfect example, the convention center where they had the last SuperCon, that Miami Beach Convention Center, that's also where Muhammad Ali fought Sonny Liston.
Wow.
Like, I fucking love little pieces of history like that.
Yeah.
Like there was, and when we were in Miami, I found this Instagram that I should have followed, but I forget. It's like Miami sports history or whatever, and they basically had, like, pictures of Robbie Stadium being built and, like, really old photos of, like, a lot of the sports arenas being built and, like, a lot of history nuggets like that.
Yeah.
That type of stuff excites me. And we really should release the footage of when we had. It was like the last ECW arena show. Before like they tore down all the walls and became what it is now. We paid Joey Styles to come in and give us a tour.
Oh.
And Joey...
And that never got released?
Because Joey was still working for the WWE Network. And we were doing this, like, release that was, like... I think you were with on this one.
Okay.
It was... I had you drive while I filmed on the way to the
I
arena.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And we were doing these whole little pieces and stuff like that, but it was going to be inside of like introducing.
Was this an Evolve show? Maybe
This is an Evolve show.
Yeah,
yes.
I remember that.
And it was going to be part of like this release that had matches and other stuff in it, because we had licenses through our video to do this whole little thing. But we had some special things in it. But like Joey's like, oh, I can't really be associated with this and how it's going to be released. When really I should just release that footage. But then like Joey we paid Joey to do it. And he goes, this could be kind of problematic for me. So he returned the money and said, please don't ever let it see the light of day.
Huh. So fuck you, Joey.
I wish we could release it. It's great because he had all these stories.
See if does he still work for it?
I don't know.
Maybe he don't. Hey, well, can we give you this money back now?
I mean, it's fantastic. And just like taking us around like different parts of the arena. And then he was up in the balconies that don't exist anymore.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'll never forget when Mike Johnson walked in, like the first time the arena had been opened up for any type of event, and like they tore down everything that Tommy Dreamer like fell off of.
Yeah.
Like everything that Tommy Dreamer had fallen off of in that entire arena was gone. It was an empty fucking room. And I'll never forget when Mike Johnson walked in and just, I've never seen a human being be that crestfallen.
Just so deflated as a human.
I mean, I could have fucking kicked him right in the fucking gut, and his head wouldn't have sagged as low as it did in that fucking moment. Like,
oh man,
it was fucking heartbreaking. But yeah, like buildings and stories behind them, and shows and events and large things like that. It was fascinating to me. So anybody that listens to this podcast that's got any idea of like books, but like just baseball ain't gonna get done for me. Like I need football, I need basketball arenas, I need like
all of them,
concert halls, like pictures of like, you know, sometimes there's these picture books. I almost bought a picture book that was like of these deserted buildings, like these factories or these theaters that are all run down from the inside, like the boards are rotting away and stuff like that, like old like Carnegie theaters that are like run down and they've been abandoned for 80 years. Like there was like a photo book of something like that. Like almost bought one of those because like that shit fucking just amazes me. Kind of like the way the Carolina Theater looked not too long ago, but I think they're renovating the Carolina Theater uptown across the street from the library, or where the library is now in Charlotte. Like the Carolina Theater was like run down on the inside there too, and I guess they're renovating that, so that's gonna be like a new space as well.
That's cool.
So that's gonna be interesting to see how that's gonna look. But I would have loved to have been in there. It was decrepit and rats running everywhere and bats flying in the ceiling, like shit like that. Like,
hobos pissing in corners, all of it.
Like that book had like an old factory that the break room had like a bowling alley and shit like that. Like really fascinating stuff like that. So those things fascinate me. Abandoned amusement parks.
Okay.
Books like that. That fascinates me.
Yeah.
Like Olympic parks that are abandoned, like in Sarajevo, like
all the abandoned neighborhoods.
Yeah, all
the
that.
Olympic villages.
The Olympic villages. That stuff fascinates me. Like the one that's up in the mountains that Wizard of Oz.
That's open again.
It's open again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our friend Laura Lyons just went, and her boyfriend took pictures of it all.
Okay. Yeah, but like stuff like that.
Yeah, but yeah, it used to be a Munchkin Village in Yellow Brick Road, like deserted theme park.
Yeah, and now it's open.
Here in the great old state of North Carolina.
That's right. But that's what basically episode 4 is. They take you around like the arena Coliseums, tell you when it's built. Like start off the Coliseum, which was November 7th, 1952. Something from the 50s in Mexico, and how that still stands.
It's just a concrete everything.
Concrete, and like I was hitting pause on that, like every time they would switch a different angle, like, and there's no, like, I used to have a whole bunch of these on my phone. I used to have a bunch of empty arena pictures, like when we do a big time wrestling show, like in Dorton Arena, or in forget the place in Knoxville that was kind of legendary where they'd done some Smoky Mountain shows. Like whenever the ring would be set up and there wouldn't be anybody in the stands, I'd take a picture of it because there's nothing sexier. And then an empty arena with a ring in the middle of it. Ooh, there is nothing sexier than it. I don't think I found a woman sexier than it.
So if you're trying to role play with Old Man Scout, well, here's some ideas.
There are some ideas. You want to get me hot and bothered. Show me some pictures of an empty arena with a ring in the middle of it. And that's basically what this is for each one of them. And then they get to the fans part, so I'm like, all right, whatever.
Well, the fan part is where it becomes problematic.
Yeah, the first one's okay. The number one fan.
Yeah. The cave woman.
Woman. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. That's all right. And then we get.
She has her special spot that she always sits, and they take care of her, and like they show all the ushers like helping her to the seat and everything. That's pretty cool. That's cool. And then we get to Pueblo Arena. And we get to fan clubs is when it kind of.
And then we get the Stinky Warriors where they're banging on the drums. Which that guy, he's like something Viper. From what I understand, I think. This guy, because his name's the Viper, I think our Rob Viper got confused for that guy because he's such a legendary fan, and by Conan thought that they were the same person because he saw Rob Viper online. He goes, "Oh, it's this fucking Viper fan who bangs the drums in fucking Pueblo Arena," and thought that was the same person, but this is just his online thing. And then like Rob's like, "No, I'm this fucking skinny kid from Toronto.
White dude from Canada.
White dude from Canada. Like,
got no rhythm.
Yeah, that's not me. So I think our Rob Viper got confused by the same. If it's the same guy I'm thinking of. So the description kind of matched.
Yeah.
And then we get to Arena Mexico, which is considered the cathedral, and actually wear high spots boots and masks. The MTZ where we get that made from is right across the street.
Oh, cool.
So like that's basically how Michael started that relationship. He went to Arena Mexico to see Lucha Libre, stopped in this mask shop, befriended them, started a long working business relationship with the owner of MTZ, and is good friends with the family, and was supposed to be in the son's wedding, but there were such security concerns that Michael's wife did not feel safe going to Mexico at the time, even though going to Mexico City is probably safer than going to Chicago.
And New York, where you go all the fucking time.
And New York, where you go all the time. So there is that. This is where you get the fan club Tapito. Also, too, in Arena Mexico holds 13,700 people. We haven't got to the most problematic one yet.
Glamour Tuesday?
We're working our way there.
And then there's like one in here somewhere. It's a fan club where like I might have misread it, but brother was like a political person. Like he was in politics, and he was part of one of the fan clubs. And his thing was
Tapito or whatever. He's got that group of people and
in the hockey jersey, in the soccer jerseys, that he's doing the "Put my cock in your hand" was their chant.
Oh no! I think that's the Glamour Tuesday.
No, that was a different one. "Put your cock in my hand" was one of these others.
It's got to be the guy who bangs on the drums. I'm thinking because of baseball cap. That would be sounds about right.
But yeah, it was one. Put your hand in my cock. Put your cock in my hand, or no, put my cock in your hand. Then Glamour Tuesday was where it gets issue.
Yeah, well,
and it's funny because it can relate to a current story going on too. I don't know. You might have heard yet. So we'll get there.
I have not.
So Glamour, are we at Glamour Tuesday? Is there like another arena?
No, we get to. Let's go to Glamour Tuesday because we're discussing. But we got to come back to suspenders.
I really dug the suspenders thing.
The concept of
the referee
was concept of we'll come back to that because I think that's a good concept.
That's a good
Let's stick with it. Let's round out this fan thing that we're discussing, and then we're going to come back to suspenders.
So basically, Glamour Tuesday is where all the upper and middle class people come to watch wrestling, and like they're allowed to chant and say whatever they fucking want. And this is the time where the captions come in very well. Because they start, and something that has happened recently. Now, if you watch the translations, you have to read if you don't speak Spanish. Yeah. They say the term puto, P-U-T-O.
puto, which I thought was just an adorable thing to say, and I've seen Rey Mysterio do that at a Northeast Wrestling show time and time again, and I always thought it was translate to pussy, which
which is one of pussy or bitch.
Yeah,
is the more common that I've heard in the way working in restaurants and stuff. It was always pussy or bitch.
Yeah, which like, hey, it's just a derogatory term.
Which at one point, depending on the context of which they say it, it comes up as pussy.
Yeah,
in the translations, but a couple of the other times comes up as the F word. It comes up as FAG or GGOT.
Yeah, because when I saw that, I'm like, oh shit, that's what this fucking means?
So recently, one Cody Rhodes was in Mexico wrestling, and the babies won, and the crowd starts to chant puto at the losing team, in which Cody Rhodes joined in with them, and there was a whole bunch of backlash for him using the term. And so they had to make a statement.
Because him, much like myself, white dude, thought it meant pussy.
Means you're a pussy or bitch.
Yeah, so...
but then I was like, when I read that little story and this part, I was like, fucking, I thought that meant pussy and bitch. So I go to a website in which you get all of your knowledge. I went to Urban Dictionary and put in that. The homophobic slur of it all was the 7th definition. The other 6 were all pussy and bitch. So, but yeah, in context it changes up depending on sentence structure. Yeah. But yeah, I was like, that's wild, and they're just showing this there, and like one of them's like, I fucked your mom, but like you can go there and anything goes. You can say whatever you want to the wrestlers, see as vile, dirty stuff as you want. Shit on everything. And they shit on the fans the same way. And
this isn't the one where I said, put your cock in my hand.
No, not same one. That's why I thought it was wild. Okay. And then when it's all over, though, they all go to the lobby, and it basically becomes an after party that all the wrestlers come, and they do the meet and greet, and they all dance and have a good time. So that's kind of neat. But yeah, you go there, and you can just say whatever fucked up shit you want. If, like, they also talk about, like, if you're a group of people and like you've been there before, but like you brought 3 people and none of them have been there before, you can get people's attention, and they will tell the wrestlers to specifically target those people. And so that was the whole.
So this is like
roasting back and forth.
A roasting and/or a screening of Rocky Horror Picture Show. Is
very
that what
much.
This is? Okay,
very much.
All right, see. That feel it.
Yeah. So Glamour Tuesdays, everybody.
Do the newbies have to carry on a red balloon and then they have to pop it?
Yep.
Is that what's going on?
Pop that cherry, baby.
That is the only thing I know about Rocky Horror
I know there's something with toast and rice.
Yeah, there's something like that.
That's all I know. They have it every time we do a SuperCon or a GalaxyCon, but we're always wrestling while it's starting. And
I'll pay more attention on not the next girlfriend, but the girlfriend after, because it's usually like I skip a girlfriend that knows about Rocky Horror.
Okay,
it's always like black girl fan of Rocky Horror, black girl Rocky Horror. That's my dating history. That's how it goes.
I get you.
So I mix it up.
Yeah.
But speaking of mixing it up, a heel referee.
Yeah.
This, I was like, is this the fucking dude? Because I've always heard things about this fantastic heel referee in Lucha Libre, and I'm like, this has got to be the guy. And it is the guy. Suspenders. And I've always thought that this concept is fucking fascinating, ingenious, and amazing.
Which, so we have a company starting here in North Carolina called Lucha Libre Charlotte. I told those guys that run it to watch this episode and learn about this referee. And, like, take some of these things and like use it for his show to kind of spruce it up a little bit, make it a little different from, because it's in a place that already runs 3 other shows. So how to like kind of change his up a little bit.
But having that heel referee, because it tells that fucking story. And if you know as a wrestler that you're going to have a heel referee and using stuff that sets it all up, fucking that's story making magic. That's fucking fuel. That's an angle. Like that's having another tool to fucking work with. That's amazing. Like I just think it's brilliant and ingenious. And if you have a guy that's doing it correctly and not solely trying to get himself over, even though Suspenders feels like he's trying to get himself over.
Suspenders, totes getting himself over.
Totes.
He's the Mexican red shoes, everybody.
Oh yes, he definitely knows what he's doing. But at the same time, too, like, if you know how to subvert that as a wrestler and work within the parameters of him trying to get himself over and then you getting yourself over, like, it could work.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. I'd love to see an American company, a major American company, do something like this. Like this idea of a referee who can't be fired. Like maybe the son. Mm-hmm. Like they always do the promoter's son and they make him a wrestler.
Yeah, that always wins.
Yeah, what if you made him the fucking referee? You just have this dipshit fucking son and you want him to have a job, but you know he's not athletic enough to be a fucking wrestler, but you made him a fucking referee. And he
fucking
can't be fired.
Suspenders is a big motherfucker.
Well, he used to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
So he knows how to work a little bit and have himself shine. But I'm just saying, like, if you were an American company had a situation, like, that'd be the story to fucking tell. Is you give this dumb shit son and just made him a referee, but you put him on all the undercard matches or, like, put him second, third match and make those dynamics of those matches interesting. And that kind of explains why he's in this spot. He's never in a main event. But then you have the main event, you know, one referee's bumped, second referee's bumped.
There's only one left.
There's only one left, and it's this fucking asshole, and he fucks it up. Like, how great of a fucking story does that fucking tell? Like, just as somebody who's creative and tells stories, much like you and I, that's
fucking
gold.
And it's not something that's different than what's been done with that archetype of a character.
Absolutely. And I think that would be fascinating. Copyright.
Yeah. Jake and Zane make wrestling LLC.
But you know what they do make in episode 5? The Super Astro Sandwich.
God, now I get to talk about food and music and cultural.
Oh, fuck that sandwich.
Yeah.
I want to go to Mexico just for that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And apparently you haven't gone to Mexico unless you go to Reno, Mexico, and then eat there.
That's it's like going to Tony Luke's or whatever.
Tony Luke's or something like that. There was supposed to be a trip to Mexico on my LA trip. But the show got canceled. So that's unfortunate because we were going to go to Tijuana to see a lucha show, and I was like,
donkey show.
I was just like, you know what?
Give me one of these sandwiches.
Why the fuck not? Why it wouldn't be near where they'd be having the sandwiches, but at the same time too, there's the thought of it like, fuck yeah, I want to go to Tijuana to see a lucha show. Because at first I was like, I was going to LA for a different reason. Yeah. But now my life has opened up. Yeah. And I was like, no, fucking go to Tijuana to a lucha show. Yeah. But I don't think it's happening now. But if that fucking thing is still on,
it is on.
It is fucking on. I'm gonna go wild in Tijuana.
I'm gonna get fucking nuts. I'm not coming back.
I might not come back.
Just remember, most of the hookers are boys. And I'm not saying don't go for it. I'm just
not
saying.
Going for that. I'm going for fucking my eyeballs to be fucking raped with something. Like
lucha. Tijuana lucha.
Tijuana fucking lucha. But yeah, basically episode 5 is just all about the cultural influence, like
bands,
movies,
and food,
pop culture, and they just
religion. It would also seem
religion, yeah. You know, the faith in wrestling. Basically, they have the guy who's the real life Nacho Libre.
Yeah. Who just his congregation is made up of fucking junkies and hookers and stuff.
And started an orphanage, and that's why you wrestle was to make money for an orphanage. I mean, they had to have based Nacho Libre.
Of course,
they had to have.
Couldn't have not.
They couldn't have not. If not, he should have fucking sued.
Yeah, the fuck out of him.
But from what I heard, patent law trumps copyright law, so he might not have won the case in Mexico. Yeah. And then, of course, cartoons.
Which was real weird.
Yeah, that was where... This is where I kind of like, all right, this is kind of like, we're at the end here. I'm at 9.5 hours of content right now. I have absorbed in the last 4 or 5 days for this show, and I'm just kind of like, all right, kind of fucking done here.
This episode a lot, I just kept picking up my phone and be like, wait, I can't do this.
Yeah, because it was very tough. But this one was like very in and out. But every segment was in and out. If you just would have fucking had a full minis episode, I would have fucking paid attention.
That's right.
But they're probably gonna do season 2. I'd imagine.
Hope so. There's more. We get that mini.
Yeah, we gotta get that fucking mini episode.
And more about Exoticos too. Yeah, that was just like touched on, and he wasn't even. He was just what I would assume was just an effeminate person, rather than like men straight being women.
Yeah.
It wasn't the full Exotico like I prefer.
Give me Cassandra.
Yeah, it's all 100%.
Give me fucking Cassandra. If I can do an entire Exotico episode, get fucking Masquerita Sagrada doing the mini episode. Get Octagoncito.
Get them all.
Get them all. Get them all. And what else would they would cover on
So
season 2?
here's the thing that happened in the show that never paid off, and it was the weirdest fucking thing.
I think I know what you're gonna talk about.
In the fucking credits, fucking Mike Elgin's just randomly there.
Thank you.
But never shows the fuck up in the show
at all.
They just show every person that we've talked to
in the title credits.
Everything we've talked about, we see eventually everything, all these Mexican wrestlers, and then Michael Elgin, just the very last person you see. For no goddamn reason. Maybe. And I want to know why.
Well, maybe they did a Google search. I don't know. I don't know.
Like, could take him out.
He's always been nice to me.
Yep.
So, just get it.
Timestamp that part too.
Yeah, I'm having time to stamp that part.
It's fine.
I'm definitely going to take out the beginning part.
Yeah, we got a lot of things.
We got a lot of things to take out of this episode.
So basically, this episode is just going to be about the individual episodes, and then all of us are making alludements to things that were not heard.
Not heard at all, not a bit. And you can't figure out where they were.
Yeah, but we don't know.
We need an Exotico episode. We need a minis episode. Probably need an episode maybe on the rivalry of the companies. Even though
that's only not about AAA.
Yeah, there's no mention of AAA.
Yeah, this is all CMLL.
I would like us to dig deep on AAA.
Yeah.
I'd like
maybe 2 is about AAA.
Ooh, there we go. But I just the interesting of the war and the different types of the wrestling, because
I would like to see a thing about Americans coming in.
Yeah, like Matt Taven was kind of in a glimpse. Kenny King kind of got a glimpse in this episode. Michael Elgin was in the fucking trailer.
Yeah, it was about time he popped up.
He popped up, but
and like they could Impact doing all their shit down there, so.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's there. There's there's gringos down there. So,
but at the same time, too, like, yeah, I would love for them to discuss Antonio Pena.
Yeah.
Like, how do you tell the story of Lucha Libre with leaving out Antonio Pena and what he did with Triple Mania and taking the influence of America and then bring it down? Where CMLL was like very much traditional, and I get why we leaned heavy on this and in there, and some would say that they have the best wrestlers, but at the same time too they're probably the least favorable company to work for.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Rob Viper may fucking fight me on that one, but I came
many episodes with them on it.
Yeah, keep Rob Viper on there. He'll fucking discuss.
I will tell you about this one thing that you were talking earlier about. You had the Lucha Libre channel on a former cable package.
Yeah.
You have the Roku, correct?
Yes.
Well, there is a thing on there called Pluto TV.
Okay.
It is like 50, 60, 70 channels of flippable channels. Like you just free cable, basically.
Okay.
There is an Impact channel, which is just 24/7 Impact Wrestling.
Okay.
But there is a AAA channel.
Oh, okay.
And it's 24 hours, 7 days a week, AAA, and it's like from like 2004, 2009, like in that gap. So if you're ever watching a little bit of Lucha Libre, it's in the Spanish section.
Okay.
It used to be in the fighting channels, but now they moved it down to Spanish.
Listen, I may be cutting the cord.
Yeah?
I may be doing it.
I'm a cord cutter.
Because I don't like the fact that I don't have the NFL Network.
Yeah.
And I think I could probably get it on an app or something like that.
Sure. Get you the Sling. You go Sling.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research. I'm gonna sit down and write what I want out of my cable or what I want out of my TV, and then figure out the best way to do that and how to make that all work. Because I might be losing ESPN.
Oh,
because that's like a big thing that's going on right now. That ESPN's supposed to go away
from direct or just in general in life.
Just AT&T universe and because now because of all of these conglomerates coming together, and ABC and ESPN and Disney are all together. Basically, and the Disney network's always been notorious, and they get you going, they get you hooked, and then all of a sudden it goes away, and they demand the cable companies to give them more money. Like, hey, you know, people want our programming. We're your top-rated channels. Give us more money. And then the cable company was like, fuck you. And then Disney's like, all right, well, guess what? You don't get it anymore.
Yep.
And then all these kids are screaming, where's the Disney Channel? Where's the Disney? And then all these parents call the cable companies. The cable companies get all these fucking phone calls. And they're like, fuck, we got to get the Disney Channel back because we have all these screaming parents and these screaming kids. And they bring it back. But then they make this massive fucking deal. NFL Network has done the same exact thing. But they've supposedly have had far worse practices than the Disney Channel. And now the NFL Network is going through that right now. And now that ESPN is with Disney, they're doing the same right now. So they're taking away the Disney package and ESPN. So there's this whole thing that all these channels are now pulling away from the cable companies. And now, me knowing the whole cycle of all this, I know that my cable bill is going to be more expensive in the next couple of months because of all these companies that are fighting with the cable companies to get more money. Yeah, I know my cable's going to be more expensive, so I don't know if I want to pay that much. Yeah, so I'm going to cut it, pick out what I want, and I'm just going to get the ESPN app and get the NFL app, whatever that is, and see how I can watch NFL games. Might be able to watch whatever NFL game I want. Yeah, so that'd probably be better as long as I can get FS1.
Yeah, which you can get in Sling.
That's like a big one I want to get. So. And, of course, HBO, and call it a fucking day. Hey. So. But this was on Netflix. Yep. So not losing this prime content that we can podcast about. But this episode, if I'm not mistaken, comes out right before we go to Ronin together. Yep. We will be tagging together. I'll be filling in for Caleb Connolly. We might be also doing another show while we're down in Florida. But also what else have I got in October? I can think of offhand. I will definitely be finally at my Cabarrus Brewing Company show in Concord the third Thursday of every month, and then the next day I'll have my Jokesploitation show. That'll be happening here in Charlotte, North Carolina, which I believe is just the day before Queens of Combat in October. I made sure that I planned all of my comedy around that to ensure that I was around and not on the road. So I'm there for you on Queens of Combat. I believe October the 19th. Is when your next Queens of Combat date is. Yes, it is, October 19th. See, this is why I'm fantastic. This is why I'm a fucking genius. And then we have multiple other dates coming up. I'm drawing a blank on everything else. We got a lot of fantastic stuff coming up. Of course, November, as we mentioned, GalaxyCon, GalaxyCon.com in Minneapolis and Louisville. WrestleCade. WrestleCade. Wrestling Revolver for me as well.
Fest for us.
Oh, I've not been briefed on Fest.
Oh, well, our names are on the list. Of course, that company might shut down after the dumb shit that happened the other night, so who knows?
Oh, when is the date on that Fest show?
The Fest show is November 3rd.
That could be doable.
All right. It's that real dumb 8 shows in a day thing.
Would we go down the
day of?
Fine by me, because I might have a local booking on the 2nd. So.
Yeah, we're in Columbia on the 2nd, so...
Okay.
So it might be a meet up and go thing.
Okay. Well, what I can do is finish up my show. But my show would be done at 9:30. I could
maybe just come down to us.
Yeah.
And then we'll wait for you. I think ours will probably be it'd be an evening show. So yeah.
Mine would be in Lincolnton, and I'd be done by 9:30. Okay. I'd be on the road well before 10 o'clock, and I can meet you down there, and then we can drive the rest of the way. Yep. All right. We just made a bunch of plans on the podcast.
I'll make sure that Well, it says the Revolt, and we've only been down there as the 3 of us. So. Of course, again, that place might not be a company after a while. So.
Okay. Well, I'd imagine because that's the big one.
Yeah.
It's the festival one. It's at least going to exist for that. No. Hopefully some people get mad at them, and then they'll be like...
No, they are.
Good.
We're there.
Huh?
The anger is there.
Okay, well, hopefully that means there won't be 80 people there. If that means there's only like 40 people there, I could live with that.
Well, that's their normal draw.
Yeah. Well,
anywho...
No, I mean like in the locker room.
Okay,
I'm not talking about people in the audience. Yeah. I'm talking about like people in the locker room.
Yo, God.
When I can't fucking move around and have a space where I can get changed, that's where it gets frustrating.
Yeah, we're just gonna put it
so hopefully there's like enough workers that are pissed off that they don't go, so that way we can go scoop up that money and then go the fuck home.
Going home.
So now maybe we should take that out because I just like showed a whole type of personality right there.
Nah, fuck them.
So
leave that in. Put that in twice.
Put it in twice. Anything else you want to share?
Nah, man. Let's go home.
Okay, well, if I've forgotten to take out the part that I said I was going to take out before, and you want to say all kinds of awful things about me, you can do that on Twitter and Instagram at manscoutmanning, or email me at manscoutmanning@yahoo.com. Make sure you log on to the website, howdidthisgetbooked.com, especially if you want to buy a t-shirt. But if you want to get a free t-shirt, make sure you leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and you'll get one immediately just by DMing me your shirt size and your mailing address. But please do leave a review. Follow on all of the platforms wherever you get podcasts. Big thank you to Don, not Dan, as you called him earlier, at Six Squirrel Studio. Thank you for everything, and thank you for listening to another edition of How Did This Get Booked?
Woo.